everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be taking a look at a B1 level email and thinking about how we can actually upgrade it into a C1 level email. So this is Leveling Up Your English with Ethan, hi, from Bright Steps, www.brightsteps.cc, where we provide professional English correction services for English learners. Now let's jump into this. The first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the email. Hello, I want to know when the project will be finished. I need this information to plan my schedule. Please tell me as soon as possible. Thank you. Now, there's a couple things that stick out to me about this email. This is B1 level, and it's kind of typical of B1, B2 writings that it often comes off as very direct. You're not really requesting something, you're kind of stating what you want. And this is always going to feel a lot more direct than some other phrases and expressions that we use at a much higher level. The other thing is that it's quite simple. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with simple, especially as you're learning, but there's no phrases, there's no nuance, there's no kind of feeling behind these words. It's kind of more just statements of fact or statements of desire, etc. So these two things right here, directness and simpleness, are what we are going to be aiming to change in our correction. So let's take it one step at a time. So first we have change number 1. Hello, I want to know. So this I want to know right here, this is a very, very direct statement. So we're going to use an expression instead here. And we're going to use I would like to ask about. Now, I want to know is perfectly fine grammatically. It is just very direct. You're stating your desires. And we don't really do that when we want to ask for something, especially when you're asking from coworkers or your boss or, strangers. We like to be a little more polite and not just state our desire right out. So this is going to reduce directness. It's going to increase politeness because we're going to use would here, and I would like to ask. It's a little bit more what we call roundabout. So you're not being as direct. So it's always going to feel a little more polite. And this is just, more natural in professional English. I would like to ask about is a very, very common expression that we use all the time. So we're going to be replacing I want to know with I would like to ask about. So let's go to our next slide. I would like to ask about is now there. And the next thing we're going to focus on is this right here, when the project will be finished. Now, we're going to make this a little bit more professional sounding. So what we're going to use is the projected completion date. Now, if you don't know what projected means, it just means, some type of future thing that you think is going to happen. So I know it's going to happen. When are you going to happen? So it's that kind of thought of when it is going to happen that is kind of determined or pointed at by projected here. So the projected completion date. Now, this is just a little bit of a rephrasing here. We're effectively saying the same thing. We're just using different words. We're using this projected and a completion date to say when the project will be finished. So it's the same thing. It's just going to be concise, which means shorter. And it's also going to sound more professional. So now that we have that changed, we have our entire first sentence changed, we're going to take a look at this second sentence and we're going to rephrase the whole thing in one go. Now, what we're going to do here, instead of I need this information to plan my schedule, let's use I'm planning my upcoming schedule and would appreciate this information. Now, notice that there is a contraction here. This is fine. In emails, in most professional settings, we do still use contractions some of the time, not all of the time. You don't want your entire writing to be filled with contractions, but in emails, we do actually use it quite a bit. Now, if you want to make this I am planning my upcoming schedule, that's totally fine too if you just want to get rid of contractions altogether. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to make the request much, much softer. When you say I need, this is very, very, very direct. You're being very straightforward about what you want. You're stating it. You're not really asking for anything. You're telling someone that you need it. If you don't get it, something is wrong or something bad is going to happen. It's very, very strong. It's not a request. So again, this is just going to be a better phrasing professionally. I'm planning my upcoming schedule and would appreciate this information. So we're turning it into a request. We're being polite with would. We're bringing it to a higher level with appreciate. Just overall, it's going to be more professional. And again, it's going to be more polite, like I just covered with would here as well. So with that change implemented, we're going to take a look at this last sentence here. Please tell me as soon as possible. Again, you're being very direct by using this direct verb tell. You're kind of not really asking for something. You're telling someone, you're ordering someone to do something. So we're going to use I would appreciate it again. So we saw this in the last sentence as well, would appreciate this information. We're going to use it here again. That's fine. It doesn't really sound like repetition because we have this information, which is pretty long, and it separates I would and I would enough. So we're going to use I would appreciate it if you could let me know at your earliest convenience. And this is going to make the request sound less urgent because again, please tell me is very direct, so it's going to sound very urgent. And it's going to make it more polite because again, this is not polite, it's an order. And this is a pretty common expression. Like I covered in the last slide, I would appreciate it is very, very common, polite, and soft. So it's going to be very, very convenient to use in this situation. All right, so next we're going to take a look at thank you here. And there's nothing wrong with thank you. There's nothing wrong with saying it at the end of your sentence. We're just going to spruce it up, make it a little bit fancier and professional sounding. And what we're going to do is right after thank you, we're going to say for your time. And what this does is it's going to make it way more polite and it's going to make it sound way more professional because we often thank people for your time, or for their time rather, because they are stopping doing something else so that they can help us with this email. So we're going to thank them for their time so that we can be a little extra courteous or extra polite. Now let's take a look at the entire email in its fixed state. So now this is a C1 level email. Hello, I'd like to ask about the projected completion date. I'm planning my upcoming schedule and would appreciate this information. I would appreciate it if you could let me know at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your time. So the nuance and the feeling is much softer now. It's much more polite than what our original B1 sentence was. So it's soft, it's professional, and it's polite. Now, if you have some writing that you'd like me to take a look at, please send it to me. This email is a little bit long because I'm based out of Japan here, so we have the town name of where I'm based. So it's brightstepshatsukaichi@gmail.com. But if you don't want your writing to become part of a video and corrected, then by all means, you can send it to me at www.brightsteps.cc. You can submit it there and have it professionally corrected by myself or another native instructor, and we will give much feedback so that we can ensure that not only is your writing being corrected, but you are also learning how to write at a higher level as well too. So that being said, check us out, send us your writing, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.